His path is that which many would dare not tread. The path of giving back to the community.
My name is Jimmy Wambua, popularly known as Ghetto Man.
Raised from a very humble background, Jimmy knew very little about luxury. This made him develop a desire to make a difference in the lives of those around him.
Well, when I was growing up, I was raised by a single mom. I lived in a slum. There was no much hope. And my main goal was to survive, you know. And I grew up with a lot of challenges in the slum. But one day my mom told me, Jimmy, you may be the one to solve this problem for me and the community. And I saw myself not as the child in poverty, but the hope for this community in the future. And I grew up knowing that I want to survive first. And then once I survive, then I can know what to do, but I knew exactly I want to help other people. And I did have a career that I was in mind. Just as slightly at some point I thought I wanted to become a DJ, but somebody told me, Jimmy, you're smarter than that. You know, not that DJs are not good people, but they told me, you're smarter than that. And you know, when I got education, I was lucky to, you know, go to university, get a degree. I was also lucky to go to the US and study and work there. And my dream was always to come back home, because I believe that I'm not out of poverty until my brothers and sisters are out of poverty.
In Kibera, Jimmy is very popular and he goes by the name Ghetto Man.
I'm a community organizer. I come to the community and work with the community to discover what's their need, and then do some planning and find how we can execute in terms of the need we found and how we can solve that. Currently, I work in Kibera, Soweto East side of the slum.
Before he could earn this name, he had to do a lot of research on the needs of the people here.
It took me 5 good years to be able to understand and build relationships, and now attempt to do the first project. And therefore, having that patience really was a big learning curve for me. Number 2 is that the community is used to one thing: politicians and handouts. And it becomes very difficult when you bring a new model to a community that believes that every time somebody calls for a meeting, you have to sign them some money. And for me, I was a different model. I'm not giving you any money. I'm coming here to discuss with you what is the need. And therefore, getting the community to move from the mentality of handouts, and every time Jimmy meets them, you have to be given money, to like, no money is coming in here, you're the one coming up with the solutions for your own community, was a very big challenge.
Wambua kept pulling strings in different areas with the hope of touching the lives of these people, and soon his presence would be felt.
Right now I have a number of projects, and they just didn't come independently. One led to another. Initially when I came here, I thought I would work with young people, but I found that children really need more help. As Douglas Frederick once said that it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And therefore, the first project I implemented was a library, but it was more of an entrepreneurship training for children, because I believe everything is entrepreneurship. We go to school to either earn income or satisfy our passions, but mostly to earn an income. And therefore, you must have an idea that has a market value, and turn that idea into some service or a product that you can sell in the market and make some money. And therefore, I believe that I could train children to become businessmen. And I established a library, and the kids started playing Monopoly, and as we talk now, it's a big library. Kids come there to study, as well experiment with ideas that can make money. And I'm proud to say that we have a shop. So that's the first project I implemented: a library, mentorship, life skills, you know, learn about social-emotional competence. But when the library began, I realized there was another problem. Most kids are not competent. You find somebody who is 10 years, but they're behaving like a 4-year-old. You know, so I did a survey to understand the need, and I learned that it starts at early childhood, the first 5 years. And therefore, I modified my model of approach and started working with daycares. Because parents here get babies and they have to go work in industrial area, and they leave the baby in a daycare somewhere. The person who's running the daycare has no knowledge of what needs to be happening to that child. So basically the daycares here are like parking lots. You go park your car, go to work, come pick it later. But these are human beings, they're not engines. They need to be developed. And therefore I started working with daycares here. I have around 27 that I work with. and try to modify them, to try to empower the people who are working those daycares, try to help the children who are there, because I discovered that poverty begins in the first 1,000 days of the child.
This library is a home to many children here. It has provided them with opportunities to learn different things.
Hii library imetusaidia sana kwa sababu mkubwa hii library anaitwa Jimmy. Ameleta watu wa kutumenta. Sasa wengine wanatumenta, tutafanya vitu yenye right. Kwa sababu kuna vijana wengi wamepotelewa, wamekuwa wezi, wanauliwa. Na pia shule tu perform vizuri. Unajua nyumba ni ndogo, na wewe lala na wazazi wako. Sasa ikabidi Jimmy akatafutia room ili atusaidie hapa tulale. Na kasi yeye tungekuwa tulala huko chini.
Kwenye mimi na stay karumu nika kiasi, so unajua nikisoma na mbwa shikilia sufuria pitishia sizi yako hapo. So venye ile bili kama hapa ikatupatia space kubwa, so ikakuwa kuna time naweza na do job mtaani, so nakaa na chop hapa na chop kiasi. Pia inasaidia wase wengine pia huko kimtaani sana, inatusaidia sana. Alafu pia tunakuwa na wase wanatumenta, unajua kikabezi na umentiwi. Sasa kuna wase wanakamungo na tumenta.
As the library got more visitors, it became apparent that working alone was never an option, and so Jimmy sought for a manager.
Me as the manager, ile challenge unapata tuna face ni stationaries. So na get hapa tunapata textbook za watu kusoma. Mimi wengine watakuja yani wafundishane. Unajua hata hatuna hizo exercise books zenye tutakuwa tunapatia nafanya hizo assignment. Unajua. Then kani unapata vitu kama textbook. Hapa hivi kuna watu wa high school na watu wa primary school. Unapata zile books zenye tuko nazo ni za watu wako primary. So at least najaribu tuone venye naweza access hata kama ni textbook za watu wa high school. Pia zinaweza kuwa zinakolea watu wenye wako high school.
His quest to make a difference here, however little it is, has had its fair share of challenges.
It took me 5 good years to be able to understand and build relationships, and now attempt to do the first project. And therefore, having that patience really was a big learning curve for me.
Jimmy feels proud whenever he sees the children he has mentored succeed in life.
Some of the kids here have started to have dreams. They are saying, I want to become this. One of them wants to become an engineer here, and one of them really goes to the community and takes the needs of other people. They see a bridge that is broken and they fix it, for other people. So I'm happy when I see people starting to respond to the needs of other people other than themselves. So they're not centered on themselves. It's not me. It's also us. And I'm proud when these kids work as a community. At the library, we don't have any tribes there. The kids have integrated, don't even know which tribe these kids are from.
Up to this moment, Jimmy has enjoyed a lot of support not only from the people, but also different NGOs that operate within Kibera.
I knew that I cannot solve this problem alone. I decided to work with community-based organizations. So I scouted for as many as possible, and then identified at least 5-6 organizations that were trying to do something. And therefore, I started training them on the vision. I shared the vision with them, allowed them to ask questions, and that's how I was able to get acceptance, because I transferred the vision to them so that they can own the goals. And today I don't work as Jimmy. I have people who are working on their own because I've been able to empower them. Like Masha in the library, he runs the library when I'm not there. He is able to do everything without any challenges. There's a pastor here locally. He's also running the daycare without me. So basically it was transferring the vision to the people that allowed them to really find value.